The European Union's foreign policy chief says that Israel's plan to destroy Hamas is not working, reiterating that a two-state solution is the only option for long-term peace. Josep Borrell says that peace and stability cannot be built only by military means, urging Israeli leaders to come to the table and talk about resolving the war in Gaza.
We have to discuss, even if they don't disagree, even if they disagree, they have to come here and they will discuss with us and we'll study which other solution they have in mind. Which are the other solutions they have in mind? To make all the Palestinians live? To kill off them? 25,000 already in Gaza. 70% are women and children. Certainly, the way of trying to destroy Hamas is not the way they are doing, because they are seeding the hate for generations.
The bloc's top diplomats are gathering in Brussels together with representatives from Arab nations such as Saudi Arabia and Egypt in search of a solution to end the war in Gaza. The ministers will also hold separate meetings with Israeli and Palestinian foreign ministers. Ahead of the talks, the EU's diplomatic service sent a discussion paper to member countries suggesting a roadmap to peace for the broader Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It proposes a preparatory peace conference organised by the EU and other Arab nations with the goal of establishing an independent Palestinian state, living side by side with Israel. It also calls for consequences for either side if they don't engage with the plan. For more, Sarah Coates joins us. She's live from Tel Aviv. Sarah, frustration is just growing here. Prime Minister Netanyahu is facing mounting pressure to agree to this hostage deal with Hamas. Can you give us a sense of the sentiment now in Israel? Is support for the war and also for Netanyahu's government waning?
Hello there, Dawn. Well, look, anger is certainly boiling over, including in Jerusalem, where Sue just mentioned a short while ago. This parliamentary sitting at the Knesset disrupted around an hour or so ago. A number of these families of these hostages who do remain in the strip barging into this sitting, engaging in a screaming match with lawmakers, saying that you will not sit there while our children are being killed. And look, they are referring to the 130 or so hostages that do remain in the Gaza Strip. This, of course, comes after Netanyahu rejected that deal with Hamas for a prisoner swap and an immediate ceasefire in the Strip to bring these hostages home. And look, there were a number of protests right around the country across the weekend, including a rare anti-war demonstration that happened in the northern city of Haifa, where there is a mixed population of Palestinians and Israelis. They really presented a united front, saying this needs to stop now. All of this military action needs to stop, and we need to live beside one another in peace. Now, there was also another demonstration late Saturday night involving thousands of people holding placards saying, "Deal now." And look, you did mention it there, so much pressure building on the Prime Minister, not just here domestically, but of course also internationally. The United States has been pushing Netanyahu to accept this path forward, to accept a two-state solution, and that is what's being discussed today with these EU ministers there in Brussels. But look, there's also, of course, pressure mounting on the Prime Minister to restore the security situation. We do need to remember that there are thousands upon thousands of displaced Israelis here in the country, not just from that Gaza border area, but also from the north, which is seeing a real uptick in tit-for-tat strikes across that border there with Hezbollah militants.
Sarah, in another development in Gaza, the Palestinian Red Crescent says that it's lost contact with its staff at Al-Amal Hospital in Khan Yunis. What can you tell us about that?
That's right. Well, look, we are hearing that heavy fighting is happening around this hospital. We do know that this communications blackout that was in place, the communications is now being restored, but the Palestinian Red Crescent says it has lost communications with its teams right across Khan Yunis. And this is extremely concerning, given that there have been heavy airstrikes around yet another hospital. This is the Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. It is one of the only semi-functioning hospitals inside the Gaza Strip. And we are hearing now that these emergency services personnel are finding it very difficult to try and get wounded people into this hospital. The head of the hospital has just come out to say that its ICU ward is now completely overwhelmed. It cannot take any more casualties. And what we are expecting to see in this southern city of Khan Yunis over the next few days, the next few weeks, is an increase in fighting. We heard from the IDF, from the Defence Minister Yoav Gallant. He came out to say that the IDF will further expand ground operations in Khan Yunis until Israel achieves its goals and also brings these captives back home. And look, this is an area that the IDF considers to be a Hamas hotspot, and it's the same area that it believes the head of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, Yahya Sinwar, is hiding. Dawn.
Sarah, thank you for that update. Sarah Coates there in Tel Aviv.